Do you ever feel like you're putting in lots of effort and energy and you're still not getting the results that you want to? One of the principles that I talk about with leaders is that every organization is perfectly designed to get the results that it's getting. And that principle applies whether we're talking organizationally or individually, that the behaviors, the actions, the beliefs, the things that we do are leading to the results that we're getting today. If we are not getting the results that we want to, then something needs to change, right? People talk about the definition of insanity being that we do the same thing over and over, but we expect different results. One of the things that leaders often overlook in making changes is their belief system. We think about changing a behavior or an action or maybe doing something different, but what if it has nothing to do with our actions and it has to do with the limiting beliefs that we carry? I remember being at a particular fundraising event where I was coaching some of the leaders. I was responsible for the overall presentation of this event. And one of the leaders came up to me before our presentation started, and they looked around the room and they said, "These people don't have money." And I knew at that point we probably were not going to get the result that I was hoping for, because that belief that this room of people don't have money would affect the presentations that we were giving. This particular individual was going to be part of the ask that we were going to make to the group of people. And the ask ended up being watered down because this individual didn't want to put too much pressure on a group of people that they thought lacked resources. And so they excused not giving, or they allowed for language to come up that gave an out for people to not give towards the work that we were doing. And the result of that night was just that. It was a result of very little funds coming in, very few people gave. And I truly believe that that was partially due to the limiting belief that the people in the room didn't have money. Because I knew that there were people in that room who had the means to write really big checks. This individual didn't know that, and that's what came out in the presentation. And so the first thing that I want to challenge you with, if you are wondering about your results and what might be feeding into those, is awareness. We can't solve a problem until we're aware that it exists. And so I want to challenge you to think about your limiting beliefs. Do you believe that people don't have money? Do you believe that there's not enough money to go around in the world? Maybe you believe that fundraising is not biblical, or we shouldn't be asking, that we should just be trusting God with our results. All of these are limiting beliefs. Maybe you believe that your cause isn't truly worthy, or maybe you're not worthy as a leader to receive from other people. Every limiting belief that we have will limit ourselves, limit other people, limit God, limit our capacity and ability to be able to do the mission that we have set before us. And so the first thing in resolving this is awareness. The second thing is to recognize resistance as it comes up in your body. This may sound a little weird, but for a lot of us, we have this pull that happens when we go to take a step forward into something. Maybe we go to make a presentation and something inside of us pulls us back and says, "Don't do it. Don't go there," right? Our brain, our body are designed to keep us safe, to keep us from doing something that might hinder our reputation or might make us uncomfortable. Our brain and our body like things that are familiar. When we start doing something that's unfamiliar or uncomfortable, a lot of times it pulls us back. And I find that a lot of that pullback that is there is due to a limiting belief. Maybe we believe that there's limited amounts of money, or we don't want to ask somebody because it might make them feel bad. Whatever those limiting beliefs are, if we don't resolve those, then we're constantly pushing past those internal checks in our body. And when we constantly do that, it's one of the things that leads to burnout. I truly believe that burnout is not just caused by overworking, but it is by continuing to overwrite or overstep those internal checks in our body, where we're taking a step past what is within our integrity. That when we continue to take action that is outside of integrity with our belief system, that leads to emotional dysregulation, which ultimately leads to burnout in our body. And so I want to challenge you that if you're not getting the results that you want, look at your belief system. And also, if you're feeling burnt out, exhausted, overwhelmed, overworked, overloaded, that might also be a limiting belief system. And so this is one of the things that I get into with a lot of the leaders that I coach, a lot of the people that I work with, is not just looking at their actions and behaviors and saying, how do we get more productivity out of the work that you're doing? But I also look internally and say, what beliefs might you be limiting yourself by? What mindset things do we need to deal with so that the work that you're putting in, the energy you're putting forth, is getting the maximum results? You're not working against yourself. The issue might not be the amount of energy and effort you're putting in, but it might be the belief system behind those things. So I want to encourage you, good news is that if you're not getting the results that you want, it might not mean that you have to put more energy and more effort in. It might be just a small tweak of adjusting your mindset and your belief system. If this is something that you are struggling with, that you want more information on, send me a message, reach out. I'd love to schedule a strategy session to talk with you about how I might be able to help you overcome some of these limiting beliefs, change some things in your mindset so that you're able to get those results that you're looking for even faster.